For a long time, I've felt that books are the most transgressive medium. What I mean by that is because of the fact that books lack that immediacy that films have, authors can get away with a lot more than movie makers. If you don't believe me, then compare the film version of American Psycho to the novel. The novel is 1,000 times worse than the movie. The novel is written from the first person of Patrick Bateman, and it is so vulgar and disgusting at points, and it's so overly violent at points. And so because of that, and because of various other books I've read, I've always felt that books are able to get away with a lot more than a movie or an album ever would. I think that because of the fact that books are usually written by like one person, maybe two, I think you can get away with a lot more because of it. I think there's a lot more creative freedom because there are fewer people working on a project. It's not like a movie where you have thousands of people working on it. And so I think that because of that freedom that's allowed to authors that maybe isn't allowed so much to directors or filmmakers, I think that books can be really special because of it. I think that you can do really, really weird things with books that you wouldn't be able to even think of doing in a Hollywood blockbuster. I think books can also be really long, which is a double-edged sword, but what that means is that you can cover a lot in a book. You can go really deep into a subject. And I think books as objects are really interesting because they're really a sort of gateway. Whenever you're reading and whenever you're focused on reading, you don't realize that you're holding a book in your hands. There's a passage in an essay by Georges Pillet that I really love. Buy a vase, take it home, put it on your mantle, and after a while, it will allow yourself to be made a part of your household. But it will be no less a vase for that. On the other hand, take a book and you will find it opening itself. It is this openness of the book which I find so moving. A book is not shut in by its contours, is not walled up as in a fortress. It asks nothing better than to exist outside itself or to let you exist in it. In short, the extraordinary fact in the case of a book is the falling away of the barriers between you and it. You are inside it is inside you. There is no longer either outside or inside. Such is the initial phenomenon produced whenever I take up a book and begin to read it. So I think reading is really important because it provides an escape to us. It allows us to go to other places that we've never been before, and it allows us to leave our lives in a sense. Of course, we don't actually leave our lives. Of course, we don't actually become other people, but I do think that we are often sucked into these worlds. But ultimately, I don't think it really matters if you read if you don't do anything with it. I think that reading at its best can cause us to feel more empathy for other people. I think that if we are willing to give ourselves over to the books, then I think that we can see ourselves in certain characters, and I think that we will see our struggles reflected in characters that were written hundreds of years ago. But really, I think that the most important reason for reading is because it's fun. I think it's fun, and I think it's restful and engaging in a way that other hobbies aren't. And that's not really something that I can expand upon. It's just something that you have to try for yourselves. And it's kind of silly, you know, I don't think that you can put the feeling of reading into words. I think that you just have to read words about different things and then you'll understand the feeling of why reading is so important. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think reading is also really important because it helps you to discover the idiots in the world. There are a lot of people who like sound really intelligent. There are a lot of people who are able to make their points very succinctly and clearly. So I think that if you're well read and if you've exposed yourself to a lot of different ideas, I think that it's easier to pick up on that. I think it's easier to pick up whenever people are making BS arguments. And of course, I think that's still possible to do if you haven't been reading, but I think that reading stuff that challenges you is very helpful in, like I said, building up your mind. In the same way that you have to challenge your muscles in the form of working out in order to get them to grow, you have to challenge your mind and your brain in the form of reading. And of course, I don't mean to imply that this is the only way to challenge your mind. You know, you can do like mathematics or whatever, or you can learn another language. You know, that's like one part of your brain that you can exercise. But I don't really do math or learn other languages, so like reading is kind of my thing. And really there's just one more thing that I wanted to say about reading, which is I think that reading should be fun. I think it should be enjoyable. A lot of people feel like if they start a book, then they have to finish it. I don't think that's true. I think that if you're not enjoying a book, then, you know, I think that you can drop it. I think you can read multiple books at once. I don't think that's an issue. I do that. I think that if you're just not getting anything from the book that you're reading, then I think it's okay to move on to something else. And really, I don't think that you should feel bad about not having read certain things. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do related to books or not. And thank you for watching. Have a nice night. And I'm gonna go to the gym now, so bye.